Welcome to Module 3. In Module 2, we learned about the rice value chain. In Module 2, we covered the ecology and environmental requirements for rice. Now in Module 3, we'll get practical. This is the operational blueprint from clearing the land all the way to harvesting. If you follow these steps correctly, you will achieve high yield, good grains value, and efficient use of your input. If you skip or rush any step, you will pay for it at harvest. So let's go step by step. Module content. Here is what we will cover today. Land preparation, that's clearing, pouring, harrowing and leveling. Then nursery establishment, both wet bed and dry bed. Planting method, broadcasting versus transplanting. Fertilizer application, basil and top dressing, weed control, pest and disease management, and finally harvesting. Each step builds on the last, so pay close attention. Introduction. Rice farming is not a single event, it is a chain of operations. Each one must be done correctly and on time. If you make a mistake at land preparation, you will struggle with weeds and uneven water all season. If you miss your top dressing at pinnacle initiation, you will lose many grains. This model gives you a complete blueprint, whether you farm half a hectare or 50 hectares. Follow it and you will succeed. Land preparation. Land preparation starts with clearing, removing all vegetation, crop residuals, stumps, rocks, and debris. This gives you a clean slate. Then comes plowing. Primary tillage. We plow to break compacted soil. We to break compacted soil, bury weeds and residual, and loosen the soil to a depth of 15 to 20 centimeter. You can do this with animal drawn plug or tractor mounted disc plugs, or even hand hose or a very small plot. Don't skip plowing, it is the foundation. After plowing, we harrow. Harrowing breaks down a big soil clouds, incorporate organic matter, and create a fine seed bed. In lowland rice, we do this under flooded condition. This is called puddling. You will need 2 or 3 phases. Then comes leveling, the most critical step for lowland rice. A level fine means uniform water depth, effective water use, even crop establishment, and better weed control. Aim for a maximum height variation of just 2 to 3 centimeter. You can level with a wooden plank pulled by animal, a tractor, leveling bar, or even a lesser guide system. On a small field, use a hand level. Don't underestimate this step. The next step is the nursery establishment. A nursery is a small, intensive managed plot where we raise seedlings before transplanting them to the main field. Why use a nursery? Because young seedlings get better care, you use less water and input, you get uniform, healthy seedlings, and after transplanting, they establish faster. There are two main types, the wet bed nursery for lowland rice and the dry bed nursery for water scarce upland system. So the wet bed. Let's start with the wet bed. This is the most common for lowland rice. First, prepare raised bed about 1 to 1.5 meters wide and 10 to 15 centimeter above the soil above the surrounding soil. Then puddle thoroughly. Flood, pug and harrow to get a soft, fine seedbed. Level it perfectly. Mix in well decomposed manure at 2 to 3 kilograms per square meter. Broadcast pre-germinated seeds at 40 to 60 grams per square meter. That translates to 40 to 60 kilograms of seed per hectare of main field. Keep the bed continuously saturated or with a shallow flood of 1 to 2 centimeter. Seedlings are ready in 20 to 35 days. The advantage of this wet bed is that it has low cost and easy water management. Its disadvantage is it's more labor for bed preparation. Then the dry bed nursery is for water scarce or upland rice. Prepare a well-drained, level bed, 1 to 1.5 meter wide. Plug and harrow dry to create a fine tilt. Incorporate compost or manure. Make furrows spaced to 20 to 25 centimeter apart. Sow dry seed or broadcast at 60 to 80 gram per square meter. Cover seeds lightly with soil, irrigate immediately, and keep the soil moist but not flooded. Seedlings are ready in 25 to 30 days. The advantage of this dry bed is that it uses less water and produces stronger root system. Its disadvantage is you have to be more careful. Watering is needed and weed pressure is high. Seed rate and seed treatment. Seed rates depend on transplanting. Seed rates depend on your planting method. For transplanting, using a nursery, use 40 to 60 kilogram of seed per hectare of main field. For direct seeding or broadcasting, use 80 to 120 gram per hectare. Before sowing, treat your seed for pre-germination. Soak seed in clean water for 12 to 24 hours, then drain and incubate in a sack for 24 to 48 hours until small sprouts appear. For disease control, you can soak in Afrostar or use Barian solution. 1 kilogram of salt per 10 liters of water to remove floating. On field seed, good seed treatment give you healthy start. Now let's compare planting method, broadcasting. Now let's compare the two main planting method. First, we talk about the broadcasting, also called direct seeding. You spread pre-germinated or dry seeds directly onto the prepared field. The procedure: prepare the land, puddled and level, then drain the field so there is no standing water, but the soil is saturated. Broadcast seed evenly at 80 to 120 gram per hectare. Light harrowing or rake to cover seed with a thin layer of soil. Then refloat to 2 to 3 centimeter within 1 to 2 days. Advantage: faster, less labor, lower cost and can mechanize. Disadvantage: higher seed rates, more weed competition, less uniform spacing and slightly lower yield. Broadcasting is best for large farms or areas where labor is scarce. The next method, another method is to transplanting. Transplanting is the traditional method. You raise seedlings in a nursery for 20 to 35 days. Then you pull the seedlings carefully. Keep the roots intact, wash off the soil and tie them in bubbles. In the main field, which should be puddle leveled and have 2 to 5 centimeters of standing water, you plant in rows. typically spacing 20 centimeter between roots, 15 to 20 centimeter between plants. Plant 2 to 3 seedlings per hill at a depth of 2 to 3 centimeter. Make sure the root rate not J-shaped. Advantage of this method is low seed rate, easy weed control, uniform spacing, higher yield. Its disadvantage is very intense labor is needed, about 25 to 30 persons per hectare, and requires skilled labor. Transplanting is best for small or medium farms, areas with high weed pressure, or when you want maximum yield. Fertilizer application. Fertilizer is applied in two main phases, basal and the top dressing. Basal fertilizers goes on before or during crop establishment. At basal, you apply all your phosphorus and potassium. For example, the KPK 15-15-15 single super phosphorus or muriate of potassium. Also apply 20 to 30% of your total nitrogen. That's about 30 to 40 kilometer of urea per hectare on moderately fertilized soil. Use 50 to 100 kg of KPK per hectare. On very poor soil, add 5 to 10 tons per hectare of organic manure. Apply basal by broadcasting evenly onto the podded field and incorporate it during final harrowing and leveling. For transplanting, you can also apply it 1 to 2 days after transplanting. Another method of fertilizer application is the top dressing. Top dressing is all about nitrogen. For high yielding variation on moderate fertile soils, you need 90 to 120 kg of actual nitrogen per hectare. That's 200 to 260 grams of urea. On poor soil, you go up to 120 to 150 kg of nitrogen. On very fertile soil, you may only need 60 to 90, but timing is everything. Split your nitrogen into 2 or 3 applications. First, top dressing at active tillering 20 to 25 days after transplanting. Apply 30 to 40% of your nitrogen. Second, top dressing at pinnacle initiation 45 to 55 days after transplanting. Another 30 to 40%. This second top dressing is the most critical because it directly affects the number of grains per pinnacle. At third, small application at flowering only if needed. It is optional. Mark these days on your calendar. Weed control types and cultural method. Weeds are a major enemy in rice. The main weed types are the grasses like barnyard grasses, sage, broadleaf like monocoria. The best first line of defense is cultural control. Continuous flooding with 5 to 10 centimeters of water suppresses most weed. Throughout podding bruises weed seed, and repeated harrowing destroys emerging weeds. Crop rotation, alternating rice with maize or cowpeas, break the weed cycle, and high plant density create a dense canopy that shades out weeds. Use all these tools before reaching herbicide, pest, and disease management. Let's go through the major pest and disease. First, the stem borer. They cause dead hearts in the vegetation stage and whitehead at production. Then we have the hispa. We have the leaf floater. We have disease symptoms favored by management. We have the rice blast, We have the brown spots, and we have the shades, blends. Harvesting time. Harvesting at the right time is critical. You want to harvest when 80 to 85% of the grains on the pinnacle are straw colored, yellow brown, and hard. The remaining 15 to 20% at the tip may still be slightly green. Grains should be firm and cannot be dented with your fingernails. Content should be 20 to 25%. For mechanical harvesting, aim to 18 to 22%. If you harvest too early, you get you get high moisture, unfilled grains, and poor mining quality. High breakage. If you harvest too late, you might get shattered. You get shattering, loses, grain cracking, rodents, and bed damage and discoloration. So watch your field closely. Manual versus the mechanical harvesting. Manual harvesting uses a sickle. You cut the pinnacle or whole plant, leaving the stumped 15 to 30%, 15 to 30 centimeter high. Then you must trash within 24 hours. Advantage: low capital cost, and you can select what to cut. You can and grain breakage is minimal. Disadvantage: very labor intense, 20 to 30 persons per hectare, and slower. Mechanical harvest uses a combined harvester. It cuts, threshes, clean, and bag in one pass. Capacity is 5 to 10 hectare per day. Advantage: fast, reduces labor, and enable timely harvest. Disadvantage: high capital cost, needs a skilled operator, higher losses of 3 to 5%, and it is not suitable for very waterlogged field. For smallholder, you can hire a combined thorough platform like Rice Africa. Let's summarize Model 3. Land preparation sequence: clearing, pogging, harrowing, and leveling. Nursery: wet bed for lowland, dry bed for upland. Planting: broadcasting uses 80 to 120 kg of seed per hectare. Transplanting using 40 to 60 km. Fertilizer: basal NPK plus split nitrogen at active tillering and pinnacle initiation. The second split is the most important. Weed control integrated approach: flooding, hand weeding at 20 to 25 day, and herbicides if needed. Pests and diseases: integrated pest management uses resistant varieties and spread only when economic thresholds are reached. Harvesting: 80 to 85 straw colored grain, moist content 20 to 25%. Attention to detail in every step. Correct rate, split fertilizer, timely weeding, and regular scouting is what separates successful farmers from the rest. Questions and discussion. What is the leveling? Why is leveling the most critical step in land preparation for lowland? Why are the trade-off between broadcasting and transplanting for a farmer with limited labor? Why is the second nitrogen top dressing at pinnacle initiation the most important yield? How does continuous flooding help control weed, and are the water saving what are the water saving alternatives?